live at LTNcon 2022, and I am here with one of our exhibitors. It is Chris Wilson of Guilded Grayland.
Yes,
right.
That's correct.
Guilded Grayland, which
Guilded
is
Grayland.
it's a gaming store.
Yes.
Tabletop game
Soon
store.
Soon to be
store. It's a store here. Y'all definitely
Yes.
have the most stuff for sale. I think I've spent the most time of any booths at yours just trying to pick which game I'm taking home to my kids.
Right, yeah. I gotcha. I understand that.
So you said soon to be, so I guess you kind of filled me in on this beforehand, but you want to explain what the situation is right now? And
Yeah, so one of the reasons we have the most product here is because it was sitting in stacks on the floor or in boxes, collecting dust, not making us any money. So we thought we would be open by now. But when you buy a 120-year-old building that for decades has not been kept up to city codes, you have a lot of work to do to get that building up to code to be able to open it to the public.
right.
And so we have gotten almost everything done to make that possible. But the biggest thing and hurdle for us right now is we have to do some sort of fire safety work in the building. And that's going to be some combination of firewalls and fire doors to section parts of it off, and then a fire sprinkler system. And unfortunately, we didn't have that budgeted in our startup costs when we started planning for opening the store. And so that's kind of where we're at right now.
So where are y'all located and hoping to be located?
The building is in central Oklahoma in a medium-sized town. Shawnee is the name of the town.
Okay, yeah, I've been to.
Just east of Oklahoma City.
Okay, so in the Oklahoma City area, so y'all are working on getting set up. If someone anywhere, you don't have to live in Oklahoma City to support a great company, but how would they
absolutely.
be able to donate to help y'all get to where you need to go?
Yeah, so we two things. We did. You use the word donate. We do have a webpage right now where we are tapping into our community and our friends and family locally and also all over the world that want to help out. Our website, theguildedgrayland.com/donate. You can see more about our building, about our long-term vision for the building, and what we need. And we've got a donation form there, as well as some Kickstarter-type rewards. You can get a shirt, you can get a sticker, a logo, some cool stuff. But also, we are getting just this week, got our online store up and running to help move some of that product that was just sitting and collecting dust. And so we will be...
Same address? Same
Yeah,
address?
same
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
So
what made you want to open a game store to begin with?
yeah. So my wife and I have been dreaming about doing this for several years. We lived in New Orleans, just moved up to Oklahoma, which is where I'm from, about a year ago now, last fall, and was looking for a job, not having success finding one. And we had made some friends in the Shawnee area, and after hanging out with them for a few months, they said, hey, we want to open a store, and you don't have a job, and you're good at teaching people to play games. Apparently, that's a reputation. And you're really extroverted, and none of us are. And the other two husbands of the couples had full-time jobs, and so they're like, we want you to be the full-time employee to manage the store and run our social media. And I said... yeah, absolutely. Wow. Why would I turn that down?
Right. All right. So this is a Heart of America type story right here. This is we're gonna do it ourselves and get it up and running. And honestly, what better thing to invest in, right? Than the story of someone trying to start something new and fresh. What of all the games that you got back there, what's your favorite one that you're selling?
That's a tough question. Probably of all the games we have on our shelf right now, I'm trying to think of everything that's on the shelf. I'm trying to remember. We brought a lot of product.
Sure did.
Probably Scythe would be up there, or Rolling Realms.
Rolling Realms I've heard a lot about.
Which is great. Yeah. If you're a Stonemaier Games fan, Rolling Realms is Like, you got to get it. You got to play it. So,
So have you been enjoying LTNcon?
absolutely.
Yeah. What's been your favorite part so far?
Last night, speaking of Rolling Realms, we sponsored and hosted and
right. That
ran
was the event
a
last night.
large group play of Rolling Realms, which is a roll and write game. So as long as everybody has a sheet, you can play unlimited number of players.
Right.
And so we had, I don't know, probably 25, 30 people
Yeah, it was a good event.
hang out. I taught the game. We played it. LTN got to give away a full base game and all 6 of the promo expansion realms. And so that was just a lot of fun. That's one of my favorite things about coming to conventions is teaching people how to play games.
Yeah.
And seeing the confusion and pain in their face at first, and then halfway through the game it clicks and they're like, oh, this is awesome. And that was pretty much the entire room last night. So it was a lot of fun.
All right, well, before I let you go, I want to play a game with you.
Okay.
So a lot of these interviews are going to be airing on our morning show, and we play a few little quick, easy games on the morning show. And so I want to play a game with you called Would You Rather. Now, I'm sure you've played this game before.
I hate this game.
Right. But in this instance, what you're trying to guess is you're not picking your choice.
Oh, okay.
You're picking what you think most people have chosen.
Oh, okay.
All right, and we're going to see if you can connect with the minds of America.
Okay.
All right? So your first one, would you rather have an easy job working for someone else or work very hard for yourself? And I think this could apply to you pretty well. We're going for 2 out of 3, by the way.
I think I know what I would say,
Yeah.
but I'm going to take a guess and say that most people would rather easy work for someone else.
Yep. No.
No, okay.
58% said they would rather work very hard and work for yourself.
I would put myself in
put
that
that in that
percentage,
category?
but I figured
Right.
that would be the minority.
Have
so.
more faith in people. Come on now. All
No
right.
offense. Sorry.
So 1 down. You got to get these next 2 to win here. Would you rather be able to fast forward in your life or be able to rewind to a previous time in your life? So fast forward or rewind? I'm assuming this
Rewind.
means you can't go back
I would assume rewind.
if you fast forward. You assume rewind? 69% agree with you. All right.
Got it.
We're 1-1. So last up, would you rather always get away with lying
Oof.
or always know when other people are lying?
Oh, man. Save the toughest one for last. So you would rather always be able to get away with it or always know when everybody else is lying?
Right.
I'm going to assume the good in people, and I'm going to say most people would rather know when someone is lying to them.
73%. Yeah, that's by far
right. That's
the
good.
largest gap I've seen.
That
Yeah.
restores a little bit of faith in humanity, right?
Well, Chris, thank you so much for joining me, man. And one more time, give them the website.
TheGuildedGrayland.com.
All right. So go if you want to buy a game or if you just want to donate to help support, get them in their building. This is a fantastic opportunity to bless this upstart of a gaming company. Thank you so much for being one of our exhibitors here. And
It's
helping
been a
us.
blast.
The sponsors like you help us put this together. We wouldn't be able to do it without you.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, man.
Thanks, Matt.
Enjoy
Appreciate
the
it.
rest of the con.
All right, you too.
All right. It is LTNcon 2022. I am live here with Mr. Todd Turner. Did I say their name right? I panicked.
You got it right, man.
Todd Turner from Mosaic Fan Art. I've been talking about you as we've been on the stream at least 3 or 4 times.
That's because of my awesome dancing.
Well, you've also been featured on the stream. But I mean, I've been talking about your amazing artwork in the back.
Well, thank you.
We've got quite a few like artistic vendors here, which is cool given that we're such kind of a smaller convention that we have that many people bringing their artwork out. But your stuff, I mean, you're actually actively building it.
Yeah.
At your booth right now. You do glass mosaics.
I do. Stained glass mosaics.
Stained glass mosaics, but you do you just do exclusively like comic book and pop culture stuff, or do you?
That is it. Unless a relative needs a sign made for their nonprofit.
Okay. So when I got to you yesterday, you were working on a Hellboy logo. Is that
Right,
correct?
which Chris Poirier has already hollered dibs.
Already claimed on?
Already claimed it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I bet he would get that one. And right now, what are you working on?
I'm working on an animated Joker.
All right, so 12 by 12, and that's from it's the Joker from the Batman.
Correct.
Animated
Yeah, Mark
series,
Hamill.
right? Yeah, the
Joker.
Mark Hamill Joker. So how did you get started doing these things?
I always wanted to be a comic book artist. I love comics. That's my fandom. And I can't draw at all. My wife and I were on our 10th anniversary. We're in Chicago, and there's a stained glass museum at the Navy Pier at the time. And before the advent of the internet, and you see this, and I go, this stuff is gorgeous. What if maybe Batman was in a stained glass church window? I mean, who thinks that? But it was like, at that point, I didn't know of anybody doing anything like that in comic books or pop culture. And I thought, well, maybe I could give this a try. And so my wife bought a record collection at an auction for $25. I sold enough records on eBay to buy my startup material, about $300 or $400.
Wow,
and
brilliant way to start.
And just did the Human Torch.
Human Torch was your first one?
Was the first one.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm a huge Fantastic Four fan. So
all right.
I really wanted to do the Human Torch. So yeah, and that's how. So I did that for, now it's been 20-something years, and I would build things just as a hobby because I am a full-time pharmacist. And would just make something and put it in the basement where no one ever saw it. And about...
Just make them in personal collecting.
That's exactly right.
Closet.
So in about 4 years ago, during a service at our church, we were challenged, to do basically something with the talents God's given you.
Yeah.
And I thought, God wouldn't give somebody a talent or a passion or a love for something that he couldn't use for his ministry. And I was like, well, then he's got to be able to use my love for comic books. I'm halfway decent at this Mosaic thing. There's got to be something I could do with that. So created Mosaic Fan Art. It's basically an outreach mission very similar to what LTN does, not on that scale. I'm just one guy that makes and goes to comic conventions and tries to be a positive influence. And I have my little paper that I hand to people telling them that, we are all broken in some way. We may, whether by our own decisions or decisions of others, broken whether physically, spiritually, mentally, but that in the hands of the right artist, we can all be a new masterpiece. So, you take broken things, put them together, and they're better than they were before.
My heart is about to burst. I love so much.
Yeah.
That's the allegory that you use, and I can't believe I didn't even think of that up until this point. But that's beautiful.
Well, thanks.
That's fantastic message right there, and absolutely true. And I know you are just. This is my perception of you. In
Okay.
our conversations that we have, you are not boastful, and therefore people talking to you might not get the idea offhand without looking at your work just how freaking fantastic
Well, thank you.
your stuff is. It looks like it took teams of people to map out these things. The specific, Bubba and I were talking about this last night, that just the crazy amount of detail that you put into transforming essentially like comic book panels and logos and things into this glass artwork is mind-blowing.
Well, thank you.
Even just watching you do it, watching you sit there and do it, I have no idea how you're doing it.
And I have faith that you could do it.
I mean, look, hey, I can learn a lot of things, but just the reason I've been talking about your booth is because I said of all the booths that we have, yours is the one where you walk right in front of it and you're just, okay, I'm here for 10 minutes because I have to take all this in. There's just so much to look at, and it's so just mesmerizing, the skill that is shown off in these things. for those of you who don't believe what I'm saying, I need you to go to @Mosaic Fan Art on
any of the social medias
or mosaicfanart.com and look at what this dude does, because it's breathtaking. It's breathtaking.
Thank you.
Stuff.
It's a definitely a conversation starter.
Yeah.
And that's what it's for. Like when I go to cons, I don't expect to sell these. Some of these pieces they're pricey.
Some of them are, yeah.
Yeah, and they're not there to sell. That's why I don't do commissions. I just do what I like.
Yeah.
And that way, if it doesn't sell, I get to keep it. And but people come and they'll look at it and they'll talk, and it's a good chance to talk to people. And for those who go to comic conventions or like LTNcon, it's a space where a lot of people can actually, for the first time, be who they feel they are.
Yeah.
And not feel judged by, the whatever, whether it's their church family that they feel ostracized from or just society in general. A lot of people come there and they feel, wow, I can be myself. And then when they come up and, see something that they like, and you can talk to them and be uplifting and hopefully get a chance to plant seeds. And you never know, it's not my job to tell people what they do is right or wrong. It's my job as a believer to invite people to meet my friend Jesus.
Right.
And then it's his job to take care of the rest.
Absolutely.
So, and that's how I felt called to do with the Mosaic Fan Art.
That is absolutely fantastic. Before I let you go, I want to play a game with you, because we've been playing these games for our morning show.
Oh, no.
And so I want to play, I think you could do the hard one, so I'm going to give you the hard one. This one's called Rapid Fire.
Oh, gosh.
And what this is going to be...
I'm going to lose my nerd
There's
card.
a timer. There's a time. Well,
how's my social anxiety is getting to me now?
There's nerd and non-nerd questions in here. I have no idea how fast they go.
Okay.
There's a timer here. Your goal is to get 7 sets correct. So it's going to give you a question like, give me 3 words to start with B.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Yeah.
Your goal is to get 7 of them in the time. You are allowed to skip, but not twice in a row.
Gotcha.
If you skip, it does take a second
point
or 2
off?
off.
Oh, gotcha.
Not a point, a second or 2
second
off
or
the
2.
timer. And again, I can't see the timer, so I can't give you even a clue as to how fast it's
Oh,
going.
my gosh. I don't even get a countdown?
All right, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm only sweating profusely, but yeah,
All
let's
right,
do
here
it.
We go.
Boy, Batman Banana.
Name 3 Hawaiian islands.
Maui, Oahu, Hawaii.
Name 3 words that rhyme with ice.
Mice, nice, twice.
Name 3 muscles in the body.
So the deltoid, the lat, and the gluteus maximus.
Name 3 lakes.
Ontario, Michigan, Huron.
Name 3 fears.
Fears, arachnophobia, triskaidekaphobia, and the fear of falling. I don't know what it would be called.
Name 3 gems.
Gems, amethyst, garnet, and opal.
Name 3 car freshener scents.
Pine, new car, and Hawaiian Island.
Name 3 words that rhyme with chip.
Dip, pip, and lip.
Name 3 jobs at a bar.
The bartender, bar back, and the waitress.
Name 3 appetizers. Oh, we're out. Dude, you got 9.
Oh, yes.
You crushed it.
I think I made car sense up, though.
I'm pretty
Hawaiian
sure,
Islands.
I'm pretty sure.
I bet you tropical. That was what that would be, right?
Tropical or like Hawaiian
Yeah.
delight.
Oh, I think
or
on
something
Family
like that.
Feud,
Yeah.
Steve Harvey'd give that to me. I think.
Todd, thank you so much for
Thank you,
joining me,
Matt.
man.
You do
And
great,
thanks for being
man.
a part of LTNcon.
Well, thank you.
Couldn't have done it without vendors like you.
Awesome, man.
Thanks, brother.
All right, thank you.
It is LTNcon 2022. I am live here with Donna Shaw from one of our exhibitors, which is MiniMaples Studio.
Yep.
Explain to us what that is. What that's off the top of the head. It doesn't really sound like you could explain what that is to anybody.
Yeah, I think primarily I work in original sculptures and handmade dioramas. Most of what I do is for libraries and elementary schools to encourage reading and literacy and curiosity and but I've recently started getting into tabletop gaming and making terrain pieces and painting pieces for friends. And Yeah.
So what got you into making the gaming elements?
Well, my son has gotten super interested in D&D,
Yeah.
and so and through that interest, we realized there were a couple other folks in our church who love D&D as well, and then we just started kind of talking about ways that I could use my interests and gifts to help. Amplify the tabletop gaming experience, and we've just started a campaign ourselves at our
really?
home.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. So that's been fun, and so yeah, I'm trying to make some things for us, but also, yeah. I mean, I think that encouraging curiosity and a love of play for all ages is just really crucial for our well-being. So, it's just another way of encouraging those things. So.
Absolutely. I've taken a look, quite a close look at a lot of your pieces for the D&D stuff and the dice trays and things. It's very high quality, very
Thank you.
Beautiful looking stuff. But I also have taken a lot of time looking at the dioramas that you have, especially the one that has, I think you use one of those Instagram, word a day
Inktober.
things to come up with something, and you built a little character based on every one of them, and that was the challenge you put out here on the table, is try and find every which one.
Yeah.
So is this the kind of stuff that you do for the libraries and stuff like that? It's brilliant stuff. We've also had several people fangirling over your miniature books magnets.
Yeah.
There's a whole little party of people that are showing them all off yesterday.
That's
And I'm
amazing.
these are awesome looking.
I made them because I wanted them. I just got excited, and then the more books I started looking into, and primarily classic literature, but also children's literature, and I have more that I'm going to make. I mean, so they'll be on my website. So
What's that right now?
that's MiniMaplesStudio.com.
.com. All right, I'll get that
Yes.
again at the end here. What got you started into this kind of craft work?
In 2015, my daughter started getting into American Girl dolls.
Oh,
And
that's a classic.
Yeah, it seems like a very 8-year-old girl kind of thing and so she wanted a bakery, and for her birthday I decided to build her one. And so I started watching tons of YouTube tutorials about how to sculpt different foods or how to craft them out of everyday items, repurposed items. And around that time I started having some chronic health issues that really started impacting me, and so it became a really good outlet to low impact physically, but also a way to connect with my kids and play with them and be creative. And I did that off and on until about 2018, 2019. Took a break, and then October 2020, I got a list of sculpting prompts, and while I was looking through it, I just kept imagining these rabbits. So the first one was, I think it was Chomp. So I imagined a rabbit taking a big bite of carrot with a big puffy cheek. He's actually over in the diorama right now. And then I just kept making them. I ended up with 6 of them, then 12, and then 30, and now I think I've got 60 or 70 that I've made, and they just keep coming, so I have to keep building places for them to live, and it's a problem. It really is. But now I find homes for them elsewhere, like libraries. I'm going to make a Christmas display for the Floyd County Public Library, December and January. It'll be up there, so yeah.
That is really cool.
Thank
This was just one day you're like, I'm going to do this. And
Yeah.
you just kind
Here
of
we
taught
are.
yourself through the internet how to do it. That is amazing.
Yeah.
Why LTNcon? What made you want to hook up with our little convention here?
I mean, I love everything about what you guys are passionate about, and coming and hearing the speakers and things has been just even more affirming of that. But it was when I did a summer display, I met a member here at LTN, and he told us about this group, and we thought, why did we not know about it? We're local. I mean, we live in the next town over,
Okay.
Jeffersonville, and it just, I think, and I have 2 kids who are teenagers, so a lot of the things that are being celebrated here are things that they love, and so it just, there's so many components to it. There's so much kindness and openness and encouragement of each other, and I think, I think play, and like I said before, play is so good for your well-being, and to have a space where everyone feels comfortable, like sharing that, and what gets them excited. I forget the phrase that was used last night, but basically how to be unapologetically enthusiastic about something you love. And so when I was home last night, my husband, Jason, he was like, you kind of are a nerd about this, like your rabbits. And he's like, I really see how it's relevant to kind of the things we talked about. And I'm like, yeah, it is. I am a rabbit nerd.
And, that is one of the cool things that drew me to love thy nerd too, is that it's not just nerd in the traditional sense that we think of, as all video games and math and,
Yeah, right.
It's like you can be nerdy about everything. Like, you saw we have a wrestling podcast. No one thinks sports or things of that nature but I mean, you think of a sports person, they're memorizing stats and figures and all the players from years and years past up to now, and how they would compare and all that. That's nerd behavior, guys. I mean, you could really nerd out about anything.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the more beautiful aspects of it, for sure.
Agreed.
It has been a fun ride looking through all the stuff that you've made. For those of you who are really into D&D, she has, I mentioned the beautiful dice trays, but at the same time, you also have like terrain for people that like build their actual campaigns out on a table. Give me the website one more time.
MiniMaplesStudio.com.
MiniMaplesStudio.com. And they can purchase through there as well?
Yes. Yeah. And they can contact me. I do commissions when I'm available. And I can do larger pieces, like 2 foot by 4 foot. People really want to get crazy. Like, we can talk about it.
Awesome. It all looks really good, but see it for yourself. Go to the website. Is there anything else you wanted to share? I don't want to.
Oh, no. Thank you for having me.
Okay, well, before you go, we've been playing a game with everybody. We're playing a couple games. So I want to play a game with you before I let you leave, because that's what we do here. We play games, right? So for our podcast, we play some of these games. And this one's a classic game I'm sure you've played before called Would You Rather.
Oh, okay.
But in this situation, what I'm asking you to do is not necessarily answer what you personally would rather, but try and pick what you think most people have chosen.
Oh, okay.
So you're trying to get your mind on all of America right now.
Okay, like Family Feud.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Kind of that's it. So we're going to give you 3 of these, best 2 out of 3. That's what your goal is, all right?
Okay.
All right. Would you rather marry your crush or be famous but never find true love? I think most of America
I would hope it would be marry your crush. The second sounds very lonely.
It does. But rich.
Oh,
I mean,
that's true. Yeah. Money and no love, that's it. I don't know.
So do you believe in America or do you don't? That's the question.
Yeah, I know, right? How much soul is left? Okay. Yeah, that's my vote.
Marry your crush?
Yes.
Good choice. 78% agreed. That's a high number for this game, too.
Right.
Real good. So, see? Hope restored.
Okay. 3.
And popping up. All right, number 2. Nah, we're not going to do that one.
Okay.
Sorry. First time I've had to do that today. Would you rather never leave your home city or never return to your home city?
Oh. I'm going to guess never return.
Yeah, you think most people?
I think most people, at least, they feel the need to kind of find their own path.
Yeah. I think you're right. Yeah, 53% though, so that's a close one.
Oh, that is close. Closer than I thought.
So you got 2. Let's do one more just for kicks, though.
Okay.
Would you rather have $1 billion and spend it on yourself?
Yes. No, I'm just kidding.
Or have $1 billion and give it all away?
Oh. This is what everybody would say, right? Oh. Did everyone have to ask this question? This is hard.
Not this one, no.
Oh, okay. I mean, I would say I'm gonna believe in America.
Yeah, again,
y'all are ready to give it away.
This isn't representative of you.
Okay.
So you're believing.
Give it away.
Everyone give it away.
I mean, I don't know.
53%.
Boy, that's
Hey,
close.
That's
too.
close though. But hey, we snuck by.
Good job, America.
You got all 3. Thank you very much. All right, Donna, thank you so much for sitting down with me. Thank you for being a part of LTNcon. We couldn't have done it without our exhibitors and our vendors. And I hope it's been a fantastic experience for you and continues to be for the next few hours. But thank you again.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
All right. You too.
It is LTNcon 2022. I am live here with Eunice from Bible X.
Yeah, hi.
Like, first of all, how are you enjoying LTNcon?
I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's my first time being here, and I love the atmosphere. I love how it's like everyone can be themselves, and it's kind of, you can relax in that way when you can be yourself, and then there's lots of games, and just from old and young, they're all having fun. I love it. I told that to Luke too. I think this is a great thing you guys started, and it's awesome to be here.
It's so good to be able to have one in person again too. So I'm gonna come at you with what I've told some other people about what y'all are trying to do, and then I'm gonna let you kind of explain why I shouldn't be afraid. Okay? The idea of a Christian Bible-based like video game has been the dream since the original Nintendo. Like, people have been trying to make a good version of this type of game.
That's true, yeah.
For decades, and none of them have come close. But seeing the preview video for Bible X has given me so much hope.
Thank you.
That you've cracked the formula. Can you tell me about this video game?
Yeah, so I mean, it started out as just an idea. We want to make a good Christian game, right? And I mean, that encompasses a lot. So then, obviously, we knew we wanted to tell stories from the Bible. And the main thing really is we wanted to tell it in a way that it engages the younger generation.
Yeah.
We know it's hard to read these days. Reading your Bible might be a little bit hard, especially when you're like under 18 years old. It's probably easier to listen or watch. And we thought, why not take that a step further and do gaming, where it's like you're actually interacting with the story. And that's kind of the initial thought behind that. And then we knew we wanted to tell stories, but you can't just have a game where you all of a sudden are telling stories. It doesn't really make sense. We needed a backstory. So that's kind of how it started. We start doing planning out what the story might be, and then that's how we ended up with what we have now, which is you actually enter into 2072, kind of a little bit like dystopia world.
Okay.
Where the you have heard that the government wants to ban Bible reading because they think that, for reasons that could very well be in the future. We don't know, but just thinking that is just brainwashing and all that stuff. So then you're like a younger person and you're kind of like unsure, like who to believe. And then you meet this guy, his name is Hector, and he built a time machine, and he wants to go back in time to actually experience the Bible events and decide for himself why this is something that I should believe in. So you do that. You go in a time machine, go back in time, you meet Jesus and different disciples, and then you experience what's basically right now it's just New Testament, but maybe in future we'll do Old Testament. We don't know yet.
So now this is still in production, right? Like,
correct.
You're still finishing touches.
Yeah.
Stages.
Yeah.
It's going to be a PC-based game.
Yes, for now. That's the initial plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's your timeline? Like, when do you think we're going to be releasing?
We want to release in 2024.
Okay.
Yeah. Like right now, the build I've brought to the LTNcon is playable, just like a little demo.
Yeah.
We actually have completed 3 chapters, just like the bare bones, the story, the gameplay, but there's a lot more to add. It's open world, so a lot more NPCs to add, a lot more fun stuff that we haven't added. So we're working on that. It takes a while to develop a good open world game. So
sure, absolutely, especially when you're trying to make something that historically has to fight that, well, this is just boring Bible stuff kind of preconceived notion to be something more fun. Now, what's like the play mechanic? What does the character do in these back in the past in these Bible times, like in the chapters you brought? What does the character do?
So I can tell you what the main mechanics are right now. It's still in development, and we're trying to figure out what more we can do to make it even more fun. But right now, what you do is there's like a stealth mechanic where you have to kind of hide from the guards, and like the Roman guards, they don't like you, and they think you're a sneak and stuff like that. And then the main mechanic right now with that is both the hiding and throwing rocks to kind of distract them, or you can throw rocks at people if you dare. Just things like that. And also then you meet different characters, either from the Bible or characters we've thought up that we figure we're living in that time. And then you help them, and through that you get a little bit of a sense of how it was like to live back then. Like, you do different things, do different tasks for them, and there are little mini games. And the one main feature of it that we have decided to go for 100% from like as of today is this co-op that is cross-platform. So basically you're playing on the PC, but you can have 1 to 6 people either online or couch co-op on their phones working with you in the different tasks. And we developed that with the thought that we want to include everybody, ones who don't have a PC gaming computer, ones who aren't that interested in gaming, and ones who like casual games, but they want to be allowing an experience, but they're a little nervous about controlling the controller.
And that could give them a little bit of a taste for it.
Correct. You're
experiencing
experiencing it and taking part, but just in a lower level.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, so that's a feature that we're actually a little nervous to implement because no one has done it before that we know of in that way. Like Jackbox does it, but not in a like open world kind of game. So we're excited, and we also hope like that small groups and youth groups can use that way where you gather like a little group and then you experience it and you talk about it after. It's kind of the main.
That might be the most exciting feature I've heard.
Yeah, we really hope it'll.
Yeah.
We really hope that it'll take off and. Yeah.
All right. Well, is there anything else we need to know about the project coming up, or where we can find it online to follow along the?
Yeah. So the name is Bible X, and the website is BibleX.io. We actually have a free early demo out on itch.io, but you can find all that if you just go to our website, click on the big button that says "Try the free demo." And play it. Let us know what you think. We really want to know what you think. Try out the co-op feature. And we're on the usual platforms: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube.
Is it just
Discord.
at BibleX?
Yeah, at BibleX Game.
At BibleX Game.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And enjoy the rest of the convention.
Thank you.
Thank you. It is LTNcon live in 2022. I am here, Radio Mats, and I'm with Anthony from the game
Allies of Majesty.
Allies of Majesty. I said allegiances of. I was going to mix them all up, all the letters. Allies of Majesty. Now, this game is. You told me it kind of has a unique backstory in that it's not out yet, but it's actually been out for like 22 years.
Yeah, pretty much.
Explain.
Okay, so tabletop role-playing game. Let me throw that out first and make sure to quantify here. But I was watching Dungeons & Dragons cartoon, about 12 years old. I'm 46 now, so just to kind of give perspective. And I thought, as about a 12-year-old, kid, I thought, that'd be cool if you could do this, but like as a Christian at that point, I was like, I still am, but at that point in my life, I was like, it'd be really cool if I could do that, but like, what if there was like, not like, because in the cartoon there's a lot of occulty, whatever stuff. So I was like, what if there wasn't so much of that, And I was like, how can we do that, Because I would always like homebrew Risk and like mix in the little, I don't know if you remember those little animals that you'd like put your thumb on, the heat transfer, and it would show you what like element they were, whatever, those things. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think I've thought about that.
I'd like mix those in like kaiju, like stomping around the Risk map, like, and then you like, that was like an like Catan has like the, the barbarians that'll raid you.
Yeah.
It was kind of like that, but like raiding kaiju that would like mess up your Risk game, Anyway,
that's awesome.
So I've always made games, and I was like, how can we make this? And I was thinking like Spirit Realm, that'd be good. Spirit Realm has a lot of mysterious, symbolic, cool stuff that like is like the occulty stuff, but like, biblical maybe. And then I was like, okay, that'd be cool. And like all I could think of was like Michael and Gabriel, like okay, warrior, messenger, I get that. That's like martial combat. That's boring. And so I just dropped it. And then I'm holding my first son, about 24 years old later, like about 12 years later. And then like, I'm not even thought about this game. I've made a lot of other games and stuff, but like, bam, it just comes into my head, 2 other like types. I was like ministering spirits and minstrels. And I was like, oh, okay, so now we got like a healer type, whatever, support. And then you've got like, at that time, bards weren't cool, okay? Like nobody played the bard. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, you got like the wizard, like the AoE kind of, character. So I was like, okay, now it's interesting. And I had a job at the time where like, it could be very slow at times. And I was in front of a computer at times, like, just holding open a building,
Sure.
And so when I didn't have anything to do, I was typing away at this, and within a couple months, I had an 80-page, player's manual. And that was about a little over 22 years ago. And so I played the game as a youth pastor, as a dad, as, I wasn't much of a dad.
Still using like homebrewed pieces?
Now more of a dad, yes.
And things?
I just had, we were like, sometimes we'd use like Parcheesi guys for our own characters, because what are meeples back then, right?
Right. Yeah.
And then I would have like gummy bears for the bad guys sometimes. Like if you take them out, you get to eat it,
Right.
Of course, hopefully somebody hasn't moved it around too much before that.
I didn't think about that.
Well, usually, only one person ever touched it, So, but it was fun. We had a lot of fun. And it was like this, like it actually got me a youth pastor position. I, kind of, God did, but like, I would go to visit my wife's cousin, so a cousin through my wife, and like, when I go there, I'd bring the game with me, and he would get all his friends to come over and spend the weekend. And so, like, the dad who ended up being the senior pastor of a couple of these guys was like, I just wanted to come meet this guy that, like, every time he's in town, my boys are, like, rearranging their schedule. And then later on, he's like, hey, I think that was divine appointment. We need a youth pastor now, and what do you think about that? And I already knew that last time we were up, I had told my wife, said, we're going to end up coming here being youth pastors. And she's like, really? I was like, yeah, we're supposed to be. She's like, yeah, I feel it too. And then sure enough, But, used it a lot as a youth pastor. And then just, as a friend of other people, dad, all that kind of stuff as time went by. But so we're actually in our 5th edition. Just like D&D.
Not even out.
Yeah, I know. The game's never been officially produced, right? So like, and it's funny because you can like almost date the editions by the name. So like we had, first edition, second edition, then there's 3.0, and then we got to like Masters edition and renewed edition, and now Masters edition. But I'm going to release it as just Allies of Magic.
Right.
Yeah.
Just let's start fresh for the rest of the world.
But,
so that's been its whole journey up until.
Okay, yeah.
How long have you been started to
I had
actually build the product?
I was going to say, I had a couple opportunities to publish. One of them was an actual publish. Another one, a guy wanted to, I won't name it for reasons, but because he still has stuff out,
sure.
Wanted to buy it turns out he just wanted to buy the mechanics, the game system for a IP he wanted to make.
Gotcha.
And so I offered to license it, but I didn't want to sell it.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and he was like, no. I was like, okay, yeah, sorry. But like after both things, that one, I still prayed about it. I prayed about that one, another opportunity. I was like, not yet. No, it's not ready yet. And it's kind of interesting because the lore now, there's a lot more theology out that gets into like ancient Near Eastern understandings of things and all that. That's like pop theology now, and so like things that I had in there, like, hey, these unclean spirits are technically canon. You can homebrew it if you want, but if you don't like this, but like they're in ancient Near Eastern mythology, these unclean, like possessing spirits are like deceased Nephilim, like, and it, like even like 10 years ago, people would be like, okay. Right. But like I was kind of feeling led to these kind of things, and now it's like all over, and now I say that to people and they're like, oh yeah, I get it, yeah, it's no problem,
Yeah. It's
like God was like setting things up. D&D's huger than ever before.
Just at the right time, yeah.
Exactly. Well, okay, here's an interesting one. Okay, I start making it. November of 2018 is when I really got the go-ahead. I'd let it go. The second opportunity to publish was maybe 18, 19 years ago.
Yeah.
And I just let it go since then. I just keep working on it, but just using it. If God ever wants to do something with it, great. I'd love that. But if he doesn't, we've all loved it and enjoyed it,
Yeah.
And it was like, November of 2018, God's like, I'm sitting there, and it was interesting. There was a wedding, but they were doing worship at the wedding, like before the reception, like it was just a worship time. And it was like awesome. So I'm sitting there and just kind of praying, whatever. And he's like, hey, remember that dream you had? I was like, one like way back. And I was like, yeah, sure, yeah. You never had a meaning for it? Yeah, you were just kind of waiting. Yeah, I remember that. Hey, this is that meaning. It's going to be that game that you're working on. It's going to be coming out. Like, you're going to need to do this soon. Like, it's time to start working on this. And over time, I had I was like, awesome, And over time, I had tried to do things to see if I could build a team or something. Yeah. The doors were always closed. And after this happened, like, doors are open. Like Michael Heiser's some people, if you know him, you know him. He's a theology guy. He's a doctorate of Hebrew and ancient Semitic languages and all this kind of stuff like that. Well, like, he's writing books on this kind of stuff, like that stuff I was talking about, and it's more well known than ever,
Right.
And he's like, yeah, sure, I love this. That's a great way to get some of these ideas out there, like divine counsel and ways God, the way things like the Old Testament views things. He's like, this is a great, if you put this out, I'll have you on my podcast and we'll back it and all these things. I'm like, awesome. Like, that never would have happened, earlier. So, like, basically, we're developing an app, and this was before the D&D Beyond, Hasbro deal.
Right.
So, like, I was like, you know what? We need to make an app. We need to make it easy. We need to make tools for, like, the GMs to, like, have tools so they can, like, easily gather new players in and they can focus on, because I've seen app games and they're trying to tell the story for you. They're, like, making it into kind of like a cinematic board game.
Right.
In my mind.
Yeah.
That's not really a role-playing game in my mind. You get the same feel, but it's not.
It's taking away that element of your building.
There's just not it's like, do you rush the Hydra, or do you run, or do you go through the door to the left? Like, that's more like the choose your own adventure RPG.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, I make this app, and I was like, people are like, why? Like, you don't even have a business. Like, that's a big financial investment. I was like, I don't know. I prayed about it, and God gave me the ideas for it, just like the characters. And he's like, and then I prayed about, hey, do you want me just to not do this again? And he's like, no, press into the app. And then, like, a month later, Hasbro buys D&D Beyond and starts announcing these things. If this works out, if this goes, I might be like the only other RPG that has a major.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it could just be. It might be not, but it could be perfect. Anyway.
So where are we at the developmental stage now? What are we shooting for?
The release? Game, like I said, 5th edition, it's deep in there. So the rules are very established. The lore is really deep and established. So I'm way ahead of the game on that.
Right.
But now I'm actually, like, paying money. So, like, I'm paying artists to, like, develop this lore into, like, appealing art. I'm paying programmers. I'm paying a 3D modeler to start working on, like, basically angels and, other than, like, goofy kind of stuff, angels for the most part, and demons other than just a Balrog copy,
right.
Don't really, the stuff for my game doesn't exist in, like, Hero Forge or something.
Yeah.
And so, for the most part, you can cobble together a few things,
Sure.
But anyway, so, like, I was like, if I want to give people the ability, because if I don't give them visuals, what's happened is, because of familiarity, people start thinking of their angel characters like elves and dwarves and stuff.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Yeah, so you need to give them that visual connection.
Yes.
So, the more we do that, like, I was like, hey, how you doing? We basically it was like, let's give people an ability to make their own avatar instead of, like, scouring. How many times you've been in a game or seen a game, people are, like, scouring Pinterest or whatever, try and find something that, oh, my character's like that, or hey, see this, that's like the sword I have, Yeah. So it's like, give them the ability to make that stuff in app, because we already have this app.
Yeah.
I like
and
that. Yeah. So that way they can, and then they can print off the, like, standees, from the, I can't do 3D printing just because the STL is a whole nother level to make it watertight and hollow. And there's all things I learned about this.
Right.
So I can't quite do that, but I'll help other people hack it.
Sure.
Yeah. But, like, I can, like, let people make game accurate standees and all that pretty cheaply,
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So how can people follow, like, the progress and know when changes are happening?
Okay, so I do a monthly email.
Okay.
So I don't have the QR code here, but, basically I can get that. join the Facebook group. You can get it there. The Allies of Majesty Facebook group.
Okay.
There's also a Discord. I'm trying to think if I can give you a link, right?
Yeah, give me stuff and I can throw it
So
up
I can
on the
give you a
video
link
later,
that basically there's the sign up, there for the monthly email newsletter.
Okay.
And if you're getting that, it's just monthly, but it gives you the highlights, like 3 major points about the game's development monthly. And then, of course, it'll tell you when we launch. But in that success page, when you sign up, you have links to the game wiki. Oh, that's an interesting thing I want to tell you. Okay. Game wiki, Discord, Facebook group, all of that.
Okay.
And, if you get on the Discord, we play. Like, I'll schedule sessions for any time with people,
That's awesome.
Kind of stuff.
All right, what about the wiki?
Yeah, so, okay, before 1D&D, again, God may have just been setting this up, but before they announced that, we said, hey, look, I want people to have value added when they spend money. So I just saw the pattern of, hey, okay, here's the next edition, buy these 3 books again. Here's another $150 you're spending. You know what I mean? And so I was like, I want there to just be, and I'm in my 5th, like I said. Yeah. So I was like, I want there just to be like the game. And then if we update it, why don't I just put all the rules and everything for free on a wiki? So you can access all the game materials and play. If you're not using the app, you can play for free. So we're in the process of writing all that up. I've got all the player stuff, but I don't have all the game master stuff.
Right.
I'm building that still. But and then if you get into the app, that's where you get the tools and a lot of the extra stuff. But anyway, so if you have that out there on the wiki, then people can access it and whatever. And then if I need to update things, I will just keep a change log. And then everything's up to date. You don't need to buy new books again and everything. Right. And people still want tangibles. So my plan is, besides an essentials kit, like a starter kit, I want to do a lore book instead of a rule book. So the rules are word searchable, and it's so easy. I love it because I've been playing for years, other games too. You're like, what page was that on?
Right.
And now you just type the word in, and there you go.
That's much easier.
So yeah. So the word searchable wiki's good, and that's where the rules are. And I'm sure we'll work out some kind of. If people want tangible, find a PDF you can print or something.
Sure.
We'll figure something out. But for the books, so they still have that tangible stuff and all the beautiful art and everything, I'll do a lore book that basically, if you had a coffee table book for Vikings, you'd look through all the cool pictures and you'd read about why the Vikings did this way and how they lived and all the things, right? And this is why their boats are,
Right.
You'll get all that in the lore book that tells you all the lore about the world. But when we tweak this rule, your book's not needing errata now to tell you what's out of date, Right. That's kind of my thought.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, everyone, follow along the progress of this. Go to the Allies of Majesty Facebook group. Look that up. Or we should have a link, if you're on the video version of this, on the screen now for you to follow through. If you're listening to the audio version, go find the YouTube video of this as well. Was there anything else you wanted to share?
I'm just happy to be here this weekend. Really
how is the con gone for you? Yeah, seriously.
It's done great. I'm getting to meet a lot of people I haven't had a chance to meet. Andrew Lowen in person. Yeah. I'd already hired him with Next Level Web to do our web stuff, but getting to actually meet him in person instead of Zoom has been fun.
Yeah.
And getting to check out the prototypes for the game, and just meet a lot of people. And you know what? Every con is different.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't sure how it would go here, because sometimes, you breathe the wrong word and people are think I'm anti-D&D or something. No, I'm not. I'm making another game, Right. Yeah, it's you don't think that about Pathfinder. It was more anti-D&D than mine in the sense of they were hey, we don't like this version. We'll make our,
Yeah.
They're not anti, you know what I'm saying?
I get what
yeah. So it's you never know how it's going to go, you know? And so everybody's been very, very receptive. They think the idea is cool. They see the differences and the similarities,
Yeah.
And so it's been very pleasant. I've been very happy with, with the response here.
Well, that's fantastic, man. Thank you so much, Anthony, and enjoy the rest of the con.
Thank you.
It is LTNcon Live 2022. I am Radio Matt, and I am here with Steve VanMeter from Forge Gaming.
Yep.
Let's just kick it off for anybody who hasn't heard of Forge Gaming. Let us know what that is. What's Forge Gaming?
Yeah, so Forge Gaming is a not-for-profit ministry. We're all about basically sharing the story and message of Jesus to gamers. So at the very base, that's what we're all about. And so we do that through, if you look at our website, which is forgegaming.us, and I'm losing my voice, by the way, because we've been at it for a while, but on our website, you'll see play, compete, and equip. And so what we mean to say is we want to do casual play and reach people that way. We want to be in the competitive gaming space as well. And what do we do with that? We want to equip people for life and to know Jesus. So that's what we're all about. So also, we started out doing LAN parties. So are you familiar with a LAN party?
Yeah.
So,
all those classic things where we'd all get together with our giant PCs.
Yeah.
And I'll hook them all up together.
Right. And so we still do LAN parties, even though it's not really LAN because we're on the internet and it's all that. But that's how we started. Joe, who's here too, he started this ministry from like a sermon that he heard about like having your own design that God gave you. And he's like, I never knew what to do. I'm in church and I'm a nerd, I'm a gamer. And he heard that sermon. He's like, well, I'm going to do gaming things at the church. So we did LAN parties at the church, and it kept growing. And so we turned it to a not-for-profit, and now we have like 100 to 200 gamers every time we do a LAN.
Wow.
So our next LAN party is actually next weekend. And so if anyone's in the Cleveland, Akron, Ohio area, we have like 20 spots left. And so we have like spring and fall, we do a big LAN. We do weekly gaming on our Discord. We do D&D and tabletop stuff as well. So
that's awesome. How'd you get hooked up with Love Thy Nerd?
Yeah, so where to start with that? Yeah.
That sounds like, oh goodness.
Well, I knew Chris Gwaltney,
okay.
And then we had talked a while ago, and he was first starting doing some of the stuff, and then I got connected with Bubba, and we just like
so you've been around since the beginning with it.
Well, I've known about it since the beginning,
right.
But when
You've been on the ground floor.
Yeah.
All right.
But me and Bubba recently got connected because we're like, hey, we're like-minded ministries. Let's like hang out.
So what have you been doing for us here at the con?
So we have a booth, and we just gave a bunch of stuff away for free. And
of all the booths. Like I thought I was generous. I brought a thing full of free stickers. But like y'all are giving away energy drinks and masks and just tons of stuff.
Yeah, we gave away a bunch of our desk mats that we had.
Desk mats, that's right.
Yeah,
like big stuff.
Yeah.
For goodness sakes.
We just like to bless people, so
awesome.
We had stuff to give, so we're like, let's give. And we don't like to sell stuff. Our ministry is like funded by people that care about the ministry, so. We're able to do that with generosity, and we're doing a tournament, a Smash Brothers tournament here. So
that's still to come today, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 7 o'clock. Yeah.
Okay.
So we have I wonder if we can see in the camera. No, you can't. You can't see our booth. Our booth is like,
unfortunately, yeah,
it's like right there.
Right where right off.
There's like chairs right there. These chairs, where people are sitting and getting ready for the Smash Brothers tournament. So we're doing that. We did a workshop earlier where we're trying to encourage people to do LANs at home again, or if they ever have, as a good way to reach people for Christ, because odds are, I mean, we get a lot of people that would never go to a church, come to a church for our LAN parties, but we want people to invite people in their own home relationally, so do a LAN at your home, and here's how you can do it. So that's a workshop we did earlier.
I love that. Are y'all doing anything big here in the next few months? Anything that we should look forward to?
Yeah, well, so next weekend's our big LAN.
Right.
So
the big LAN party.
It's called Forge LAN, and it's our 19th one.
19th
So, and our 20th one is going to be in March because we do every spring and fall.
Oh, okay. So you do 2 a year.
Yep. And we're going to be in Columbus, Ohio. So we've been jumping around. So we've had other people want to get part of our ministry. Like, can you come run a tournament? Can you host your LAN at our place? And so we're open to go anywhere. And I'm also a missions pastor. And so I've even had partners in Japan and France say, can you come do a LAN at our place? And I'm like, we'll see. I don't know Japanese that well, so.
How can people in the Ohio area like find out about where to go, what to do?
Yeah.
Where can they reach you?
And not even just Ohio area.
Well,
we
sure.
have
worldwide, of course, to get online, but
so our website, we filter stuff through that. We have a Discord community of over 400 people in that, and so I would encourage people to check out our Discord and hang out. And our website again, forgegaming.us, has all that stuff there. So
okay.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to share? I don't want to cut you off. If you have anything special to add?
No, you're good. I love what you guys are doing here.
Can I let you play a game with me real quick?
A game?
Yeah.
Let's go.
It's a gaming convention, right? I'm going to have you play a game called Would You Rather. You've probably played this game before, right?
Yeah, and I'd rather not, but we can.
So the way this works is I'm going to give you two choices, but instead of trying to choose the one that necessarily you would want to pick, you're going to try and choose what you think the majority of people playing this app have picked.
Let's say the last part again.
The majority of people playing this app have picked.
Okay.
So you're trying to get into the mind of America.
Gotcha.
Essentially here, okay? All right. Would you rather bleach your hair neon green or only have one eyebrow?
I would go with green. Bleach your hair green.
81%. That's the most definitive answer I've seen today.
Because eyebrows don't really grow back, right? I mean,
grow back, yeah. Grow back. All right, so we're doing best 2 out of 3. So that was one. Would you rather? That's a nice one. Be able to run 100 miles per hour, or be able to fly at 5 miles per hour?
I gotta go with fly.
But only 5 miles per hour. That's pretty slow.
Okay, you brought up a good point. I actually thought you said 500 miles per hour.
Oh, goodness.
Which is ridiculous.
That's too fast.
That's way too fast. You might die, actually.
That's terrifying. Yeah.
Gosh. Okay. Well, given what you just said,
Adding that.
I think you give it away.
I don't know the answer.
No, you don't know the answer. Okay. There's something about flying. I don't know. Let's go with flying.
I mean, I kind of agree. But you were wrong. 55% said they'd be rather to run.
So I'm like, maybe it's something you got to like.
It's got to be. It's the 5 miles per hour that kills.
But maybe it's only 5 miles an hour because you haven't worked hard enough yet. So like you can.
Flap boy. All right, last one. Let's see if you can pull this out. Would you rather swim 100 meters in ice cold water, or walk 50 meters barefoot on burning ember or smoldering ember? I'm assuming is what they mean.
Yeah, let's go with the burning.
No, 58% would rather do the 100 in ice cold water.
Really?
They best you. America
Dude,
let you down.
I just think of sharks, and I don't want to be in the water, so like I'm good.
Steve, thank you for coming on and sharing with us about Forge.
Yeah.
And again, that's forgegaming.us. Check them out. I look forward to seeing the results of your Smash Brothers tournament later on today. Enjoy the rest of the con, brother.
Yep. Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you.